making this day a reality.
We are talking Mongoli Allah, the Allah Yabam Wanandama.
It's been my dream ever since I grew up to meet the National Chief Imam. And I'm very happy that he has granted me audience despite his video schedule, especially this time of the year.
And I would not so say the Kina, Taban Dama, who they came back at Lokachi, but Tama, one and Lokachi, a child.
I thank him and all his people very much.
Na Makabudia, what in the student
I'm here to do 3 days and we will leave very soon for him to rest. First is a citation that I've written down that I wish to present to him. Secondly, I'm to give him an honorary certification as an emotional intelligent coach.
Babban certificate na shahada ne ta tsarin ilimin da ake kiran intelligence emotional intelligence.
Good. And this has been one of my dreams because I've observed him from outside and I've seen that although we have gone to school to learn and build emotional intelligence, he has lived and practiced.
Mun je school muka koyi wannan ilimi wannan fanni amma mu muna ga kaman kai Allah ya baka dama ka zama Allah ya mai da ka bayanin wannan fanni ba lalle ka ta school ba koyi ba wurin school ma ba Allah dai ya kawo maka ya baka maka.
And I did not come alone. I have my mothers and my uncles that follow me here.
Ba ni kawai na zo ba ina da umarni da rafani waɗanda suka biyo ni nan.
So I will introduce them briefly. On my immediate left is Deputy Commissioner of Police.
Oh.
And is at the same time now researching on emotional intelligence. The first police officer in the whole of Ghana to have done that.
Ya ga amfani wannan fanni ma ya zo ma aka ilmantar da shi yanzu an ba shi shahada cikin wannan fanni.
First police.
And I have Madam Eva Jina, Eva.
Madam Robertson,
Gilbertson.
Gilbertson.
And then I have my experts. Declare you as the most emotionally intelligent religious leader in Ghana. The citation reads, Usman Nuhu Sheributu, National Chief Imam and the Grand Mufti of the Republic of Ghana. Your self-awareness and self-regulations are incomparable, and your empathy, motivation, social skills, and resilience practical psychometric scores are second to none.
Yes.
You have presented to us and the rest of the world a true religion with your personality and character, and not sermons and speeches. You are an embodiment of peace and you radiate love. You are a father that has lived and displayed the true motherhood character of unconditional love to all and sundry. Your tolerance, respect, and appreciation of other people's faith has ensured that Ghana enjoys peace. No wonder you are the most revered religious leader in Ghana and one of the finest clerics in the whole of the universe. May Allah continue to protect and bless you. Presented to you today by James Kwesi Addison, CEO of Addison International Center for Emotional Intelligence.
فمن رام دركي في اشتياق نبينا فقد رام أمرا مستحالا محرما كما رام وإذ رام مسك الماء أمسك مهما وإن قريشا.
Also present him as an honorary emotional intelligence coach. Oh. Certified emotional intelligence coach. Because the institutions that I had now, and with the qualification and ability given to me to administer EQ 2.0 and EQ 360, it has become very imperative for me to have people to support me. So I've been training people all over the globe. We've represented Ghana in Nigeria, Dubai, UK, and other places. And I think he's somebody that doesn't need to sit in my class to have that qualification. He has lived it already. So DC OPU will help me read what is there, and then we'll do the.
This certificate is presented to you from the Additional International Center for Emotional Intelligence. On this day, 9th May 2021, the year of Allah, we confer the honorary certification in emotional intelligence on His Eminence, Sheikh Dr. Usman Nur Sharif, as a certified emotional intelligence. I present to you the honorary certificate as a certified emotional intelligence coach.
Allahu Akbar. فأهلا وسهلا مرحبا ثم مرحبا.
Learns it, but we pray that we'll be natural like him. On this day, we donate this book in the name of Allah to Chief. Amen.
To declaration of devotion to our mothers. My name is Abu Abari. The national chief of mine is my grandfather. And it's an honor. And it's God's own design that I should come to witness this honor that you have done, not only for him, for family, and not only for the Muslim, but the Christian world, the whole of Ghana. I said this because I've been away for a while. I'm domiciled in the United States. I come once a year to do external examination at Lagos. But since 2019, thanks to COVID, I've not been able to come. This just a few months ago, we were giving clearance to be able to travel. So I arrived last night from university. So I decided first thing first, because we got here around midnight. So I went. My mother is still alive. She's 97 years old. She's at Abraka. So I went there to greet her. And the first thing she asked me, have you gone to your grandfather? I said, I know you will ask. I'm on my way there. I had no idea. So I was telling my brother, if I knew we were going to get such obvious visitor, I would have put something much more fitting than this casual shirt you are seeing me wearing. But I thank God. I thank God for what you have done. May God reward you amply. You know, what you are doing is not just for this country, it's the world, as you said. And I'm confident that after this brief sermon that is passed, I'll get your particulars to be able to correspond, because I'm also an educationist. And incidentally, I was educated in Athens University College, which happens to be also the alma mater of brother Mr. Addison. And my wife was educated at Hobitat. Oh, so you are Hafsa. Yes, Hafsa. You know, 1967. Wow. And when we were there, I was the editor. At that time, I don't think you have it there. We used to have a joint newspaper called The Trumpet. I was the editor. And my wife was a member of the editorial board. And her father happened to be Mr. Kwanzaa late. He was member of parliament for Shama during the Buzia regime. So we have two families come together. And as you said about Malam, the values, what he represented, that is reflected in our lives. You see, so even though I came from a very strong Muslim background, the rest she from strong Catholic background, we've lived since 1977. So man and wife will have 2 children together. You know, so what we are doing now is a service, like I say, to humanity. I don't want to go too far, but I've been indirectly inspired to mention, you see those 2 photographs over there. On the left is our great-great-grandfather. That's the grandfather. So from there, they were the officers. There weren't too many African officers. So they were the officers. On the left is Dan Barlow and Professor Zonwa to his right. They were trained in England, Birmingham and Liverpool. Here on the left was the first African officer. And at that time, as you probably know, Germany, France, and Britain were competing for way to control Ghana. So they helped the British to secure the borders of what is today Ghana. Give it integrity. So he on the left, I don't want to make it too long, but on the left, like I said, Officer Bantam Barno, because of his skill and his strength and courage. And the threat coming not only from the French, but also one notorious. He was a Muslim leader, but he was a notorious slave trader. And he was harassing the people in the area that now we call part of Bronga Hafo, all the way to Wa and the rest. So he was sent there. There was a garrison to guard the place and make sure that the place is secure. Samori was confronted Samori and sent him an ultimatum. And this is documented. It's not, I'm an English scholar, but I'm also in history and literature. So it's documented. He gave him an ultimatum that henceforth he didn't want him to set foot where the British have claimed as part of their dominion. And as God will have it, when he turned, he directed his activities in the Ivory Coast. So it was in the Ivory Coast that Samori was captured and exiled. He was exiled to Southeastern Africa, and that's where he died. And so, since that time, I remember 2017, when I came, because I come for external exam. The moment he heard I came, he said, "Are you going to be here for?" I said, "About 3 weeks." He said, "Okay, by next week we'll be going to Sampa," which used to be in the Bronga Half region. And the reason why Sampa is important to us is because that was where our great-grandfather was buried. He was there, as I said. He's managed to secure the border for the British, and he's managed to get. Amen. 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 Amen.
Dr. Mohammed Marzouk Azindo, PA to His Eminence the National Chief Imam. His Eminence the National Chief Imam is much more humbled by this honor. He sees it as an opportunity for all of us to recognize the need to reward excellence. He's much more humbled. He knows very well that whatever he does in service to nation has been recognized, and he wants Ghanaians, Muslims and non-Muslims, to emulate his conduct that is geared towards service to nation, service to humanity, and service to our Maker. It will definitely be part of the contribution to efforts at getting peace. We know very well that even in the most peaceful environment, there are chances of violence. But it is up to the people to either give those chances the opportunity to activate or to ensure that in spite of everything, we are all one. Let me give you a classic example. You and I know very well that in this country are two major religions. These are Christianity and Islam. However, the country is not a theocratic state. In other words, it is not a country governed by religion. It is a pure secular democratic state governed by constitutionalism. And therefore, we believe that the laws of this country, the wisdom of the Christian leaders, the maturity, and the wisdom of the Muslim leaders should all come together to find an amicable solution. As we all know, we belong to a humanity, and Muslims and Christians also belong to one family. That is the family of Abraham. Both religions are called Abrahamic faith, and therefore they are just like cousins. And of course, the best cousins will have opportunity or the times to fight. That does not mean that they are bad people. They have to find a solution. What is happening is just the beginning, and that should not be an issue of concern. What should be an issue of concern is the end, and the end will be a holistic solution. If we are not able to find a solution to what is happening, then we should be blamed. But if at the end of the day, we are able to find a solution, that it should be a blessing. It should be a justification of the ability of religion to find a solution to an issue confronting a secular state. So it is up to all of us, the Christians, the Muslims, and even non-Christians and non-Muslims, to come together to look at it as a national issue that deserves a holistic solution. But I'm very optimistic that in the end, we will not be talking about the discomfort of looking for solution, but the comfort of victory. The last word to the youth is that they should try as much as possible to appreciate positive values. One, they must be much more serious about education. They must also uphold the values of unity, love, transparency, and decency. These are the values that will help them to strategically position themselves to respond to the challenges of contemporary society. Today they are youth, tomorrow they are leaders. And if they are not well groomed, definitely they cannot take the mantle of leadership tomorrow. But the grooming is also a shared responsibility. It is the elderly that must also groom the youth. So the youth have a responsibility to be decent. But the greater responsibility to ensure the decency of the youth lies on the elderly. So it is the elderly that must accept this responsibility to train the youth and to make them productive
And on his
adults
right
and
is
leaders
his
of
brother.
tomorrow. Thank you.
They were
Name
the
is
original
Muriel
ancestors
Darling Gilbert.
on our father's side.
I'm a quality
Who came
assurance
during
consultant, and I am a counselor, marriage counselor. I have been associated with Mr. Addison and the ideas about emotional intelligence for some time, and I really am excited about the subject because we all have emotions, but the extent to which we are able to control the emotions is what we need to learn. In fact, the book that has been written, My Child, My Future, is primarily for caregivers. Everybody taking care of a child needs to be emotionally intelligent before they can bring out the children and teach them to control their emotions. A lot of people are very learned, but they can't control their emotions. And that brings confusion into society. So it is good that as a mother, this day we are here to present copies of this book to the chief imam, and we hope he will distribute it to the people who are affected by it, and the people will take turn or time to learn some of the basic, because this book is from the cradle, babies, to teenage years. Others will follow from those years. So it is very important that all of us preach this word. All the crimes that are being committed is because people can't control their emotions. Why should a husband kill a wife? Somebody he once loved. So it is just learn the techniques of learning to control our emotions, and then we will have a more peaceful country, a better developed, and every one of us will enjoy.
Eva Gina Bediakon, Deputy Director, HR, Eutu Senya East Kaswa. We visited Chief Imam on this day, Mother's Day. We are so excited the way he received us. In fact, we've seen him from afar, but today I've touched him, I've greeted him, and I know that he's naturally emotional, intelligent person. And the peace he has with him has made him strong. Look at his age, but you could see smiles all over him, could see people happy around him. And we pray that all of us will live like that. If you are emotionally intelligent, it affects people around us. You are able to control yourself so that you can validate others. Nti say the yesua no, ese say yeje. Enye sa, say the wiase kɔ no, ebeye basa. Nti ende ye Mother's Day. Me share awufo na nkran say abatanye eyeja. Enso ye momodia say ye ni betse, ye be boy aboso, ye be gina painting. Na ya tete mo frey mo nwa benyin abeye mpanimpa se de ye na ye hwe Chief Imam ye ni gi ne ho a ye bo na baso no ye nso ye ma ebebo ya baso daachi ye nka nsem a eye nkuko sem a ema ye ma se ye ma fun mpo a ye be yiri ye ho se ye be trenetene won e wo kwan pa so e wo dom eni abutrem abutre ewie nkonimdi. So let us all have patience so that we live happily with our family and in the nation.
My name is Justice Sego, the PRO for Addison International Center for Emotion. The center, through the author or the founder of AICEI, has authored a book on My Child, My Future, which happens to be the first book written on emotional intelligence for children. And scanning through the country, one person that is an embodiment of emotional intelligence, somebody who is an epitome of emotional intelligence, is no other person than His Eminence, our National Chief Imam. I believe there is no doubt about this. I believe that if you interview people around, they will tell you that our National Chief Imam over the years has exhibited high emotional intelligence, and we thought it wise to honor him today by giving him this honor in terms of him becoming an emotional intelligence coach in the country without necessarily going through the normal training that you have to go through at the center to be certified as an emotional intelligence coach. So we did this because, by all standard, he ticks all the boxes when it comes to an emotional intelligence. So, we are all emotional beings. Everybody has an emotion, whether adults, whether a child, whether a teenager. So, I always say that we are creatures of our own emotions, and we believe strongly that one of the things that we do many a time forget is the fact that children also have emotions. With the emotions of children, they are many a time raw, they are unprocessed, and many a time they can't regulate these emotions as and when they come through. So there is a need for us to really have a book purposely written on how to manage the emotions of children, because our children are our future, as we do say, and we believe as a center that if these children are properly nurtured, they are properly nursed, we're able to work on their emotions, they'll grow up to become very responsible children in the society, which will impact positively on the society that we live in. Let's look around us, what is happening amongst the youth. There's a lot of moral degeneration, and for us, we believe that the emotions of these youth and these children have not properly been channeled into the proper course. And we believe this book has come at a time like this for us to properly nurse and properly, regulate the emotions of our children as and when they grow up, so that they will grow up to become very responsible children that we want them to be. And as I said, they'll grow up and impact on our society positively. So it's because over the years we've neglected the emotions of children. Okay, so this book is written for educators, written for parents, caregivers, counselors, anyone that has a relationship with a child. This book is meant for the person. And it means that everywhere that we have children, we should have people who have this book or possess this book to read. And not just reading. Once they read, they will apply the principle therein. And what we've done is that we've made the book very simple to read. We didn't use a lot of jargons, very easy to comprehend when you read the book. And for me, we are hoping that this book must get to every nook and cranny of this particular country, so that then people will read the book and implement whatever we have in there. And we hope that once this book goes, haywire, we are hoping that we'll begin to see transformation in our children.
My name is Mr. James Quincy Addison. I'm the founder of Addison International Center for Emotional Intelligence and the CEO as well. I'm also Ghana's first internationally certified emotional intelligence coach. And now, emotional intelligence is very, very important, because your ability to manage your emotions when emotions are very high is very, very crucial for our living. Now, when you're able to manage your emotions, you also have the ability to relate to people very well. Now, I've been in this space, that is emotional intelligence space, for close to over 6 years now. And calls began to come, and people were calling for a simple book that it will serve as a point of reference for them, although there are a couple of books in the system on emotional intelligence. So I heeded to the cause of my people, and I came out with Emotional Intelligence, a book. But of all the areas of emotional intelligence, I decided to look at that of children first, because children are very, very important to us. They are the future leaders, as we always say. But then, what kind of future leaders are they going to be depends on us and our ability to help them manage their distressing emotions. So I was motivated to look at children first. And I came out with this book. We launched it on the 11th of April, that is 2021. But then, when I look around, I got to realize that although we have gone to school and go to some, institutions to learn emotional intelligence, there is one particular man in Ghana who I thought has lived and practiced emotional intelligence naturally, and that is the national chief imam. So I decided to call on him today as a Mother's Day and present to him such a book. And I'm very grateful and honored that the man, upon all his busy schedules, especially in this time of the year, in their fasting period, the man was able to grant me an audience. And he's been with us, and we have a very amazing and awesome time. So I think it's high time that we pay attention to emotions of children. Most of the time, we as adults believe that we have emotions and they are normal with us. An adult can get angry, an adult could be afraid of a situation. But then when it comes to that of children, we normally turn a blind eye to that, thinking that children don't have emotions. And because of that, we've destroyed a lot of children as they grow up. So there is the need for us to really pay attention to children's emotions now, because when we destroy their emotions, we destroy their future. This is very, very important and dear to me, because when I was growing up, my great uncle, may his soul rest in peace, Nana Onipa Entry II, I lived with him, and the kind of words he spoke into my ears, the kind of encouragement he gave me has become a sustainer to me. Because I remember when I even cleaned his bedroom, he would tell me, Kwesi Achille the Great. So when these things enter children, they lived by it. And I could see greatness around myself because, for instance, I mean, on the latter side, for National Chief Imam to grant you audience at this time, that means the man has appreciated whatever you are doing. And that is one of the most exciting moments for me today. I'm very, very happy today because it's a Mother's Day, but I decided to visit a man because I could see motherhood in that man. So in his citation, I told people that he has presented to us a true religion, not through his speeches and sermons, but his character and behavior, his understanding of other people's beliefs, his empathy for everybody, belongingness. And man, look at the respect that the man commands. His sitting arrangement alone, his appearance radiate peace and calmness. This is what we need in this country. And there's no wonder he has contributed to the stability of this country. Very, very important. He's been able to hold the fort when it comes to our brothers and sisters, Muslims, as well as the Christians. And anytime that he intervenes, there is peace and calmness in any situation. One day, the youth will also grow and become adults. They will give birth. So if they get to know some of the dynamics, because in the book, we've looked at dynamics of understanding children's emotions. Are you getting my point? So when they get to know some of these things, they grow with it and they impart it onto their children. But the parents, for now, we are looking at the children between when the child begins to verbalize. As soon as the child is able to speak, then we should be able to inculcate in them emotional intelligence, understanding of other people's emotions, how to manage their own emotions, how to manage other people's emotions, appreciation of other people's value and understanding, their ability to relate to other people, ability to be very optimistic. These are things that makes us human beings, their level of confidence. So when these things are imbibed into the children, they grow up to become responsible and very useful children, responsible and very sensitive to the need of other people. Children that will display empathy. Children that are very optimistic in life, because if you lack optimism in life, you are not going anywhere. Children that are self-confident. Children that are self-motivated and encouraged to believe in what they believe in, which is of several, important. So I'm looking into the future whereby we will hand over the baton to the next generation well prepared for the task ahead. We have a lot of challenges when it comes to youth. So youth will grow up to be very resilient and stand the test of time so that they didn't break down when challenges arrive. And these are all chapters that has been looked after in this very book. So we are hoping that from 3, 4, 5 years to come, we will produce children that are emotionally intelligent. That means they will be able to relate to other people's emotions empathetically, functionally, and cooperatively. And when that happens, everybody is happy. Nobody will want to live in a community that is too chaotic to live in. And this will be stemmed as a result of emotional. My expectation is that all of us will live in a world, a global world that is full of peace and understanding. Because when you relate well with yourself and relate well with others, the world becomes a better place for all of us. It is only emotional intelligence that can bridge that gap of chaos, that chaotic movement, that gap of quarrel, that gap of misunderstanding. When people understand themselves and understand others, they will be able to relate to other people very well. For instance, when you go to a place like, Norway, you go to a place like Denmark, Iceland. These places are the best places they are the happiest people on earth. And when you do a research, you find out that these places, they teach empathy. Right? They teach empathy in school. For instance, in Denmark, every Wednesday, they have a period that they teach empathy. So a mother is happy to see a child who has obtained 90% in mathematics and also 90% in empathy. It's very, very important. No wonder when it comes to the world ranking, they are declared as the most happiest people on earth the most peaceful people on earth. All these things are underpinned by their importance that they attach to social and emotional learning. So it's my prayer that Africa will embrace social and emotional learning, making it part of our curriculum so that children will build up these skills when they grow. It's very, very important. Let me give you this research. A 19-year research was carried out in America and Canada. Now, in that 19-year research, it came out that the most important predictor of success is social emotional intelligence. The social emotional learning. These two skills, social and emotional skills, were the better predictor of success. When the children were at the age of 6, the teachers and the researchers visited the school and they rated the children on 4 things: ability to share, ability to conflict manage, ability to listen, and ability to support others. Now, children that score very high on these 4 social and emotional skills, right, they were followed after 19 years, right? So they were around 24, 25. Now, when they got to them at that age, they found out that children that were struggling with these 4 social and emotional skills, some of them were in jail. When they are at the workplace, people cannot work with them. Some of them have problems. Some have contracted deadly diseases, including HIV/AIDS. People that, the children at that age, that were scoring very high or very good grades on this social and emotional intelligence. These children have grown up to become managers, CEOs. They relate with people very well. They have a very good team spirit. Are you getting my point? They are in relationship. When they are at the workplace, people want to work with them. That is where the psychologists began to pay more attention or got to know that there's the need for us to look at these skills very, very seriously. And when we make these skills part of the children's studies and curriculum, these children will grow up and become very good and responsible citizens.